Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farah Regar with name 21705622046, and I'm here to present about my thesis result seminar. The effect of the trade ratio, current ratio, and fund size on the profitability of renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024. First of all, I want to say big thank you to my advisor one is Prof. Agung Darmawan Kusdedi MM PhD, and my second supervisor is Kurnia E SAMSG. So this is the research background of this research. The first one is investment in renewable energy remains very low. In 2024, renewable energy investment reached only 1.8 billion US dollar for below 60 7.5 billion in oil and gas and 7.7 billion in mineral and coal. The second one is the share of renewable energy in the energy mix has increased every year from 8.6% in 2018 to 14.68% in 2024, but it has consistently fallen short of the annual target set by the government in Indonesia. And the third, my research background is low investment indicate that renewable energy sector is perceived as high risk and less profitable if compared to the oil and gas or mineral coal sector. So next, a low investment makes it difficult for renewable energy companies to finance large and innovative projects. As a result, profits generated from equity or ROE are limited due to the small amount of available capital and high risk. Low investment reflects investor lack of confidence in the renewable energy sector, requiring companies to manage internal factors that affect profitability. Factors such as capital structure, liquidity, and firm size were selected because they directly influence a company's ability to generate profit from equity. Capital structure determines the proportion of debt and equity used to finance large projects, thereby maximizing profit. Liquidity ensures that the company can maintain smooth operational and project cash flow, keeping a ROE optimal even with limited capital. Firm size reflects an entity ability to access various sources of external and internal financing. Next to the research gap of this research, the differing result of previous study on the effect of the debt ratio, current ratio, and firm size on profitability indicate that empirical evidence remain inconsistent. This suggests that the relationship among these variables cannot yet be consequently determined and require further investigation. And then the novelty of this research is this has been a study in Indonesia that specifically examines the effect of the to equity ratio, current ratio, and firm size on the profitability of renewable energy companies. So next is research question. Does the debt-to-equity ratio has a negative effect on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024? Does the fund ratio has a negative effect on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024? So the last research question is, does firm size has a positive effect return on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024? So if we have a research question, we have also research purpose. The first one is the research from the first one research purpose to examine the negative effect of the debt-to-equity ratio on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange from 2020 until 2024. The second research purpose is to examine the negative effect of the current ratio on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange from 2020 until 2024. The last research purpose is to examine the negative effect of firm size on return on equity in renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024. So, supporting theories used in this research is the first one is trade-off theory. The trade-off theory is one of the main theories explaining how companies determine an optimal capital structure by balancing the benefit and risk of using them. In this study, the trade-off theory is used to analyze the effect of leverage and from size to profitability. The pecking order theory pecking order theory is used in this research too. The pecking order theory states that companies have a preference hierarchy in choosing financing, starting with internal fund, followed by debt, and lastly, equity. In this study, the pecking order theory is used to analyze the effect of liquidity and leverage on profitability. So next is a hypothesis on this research. The hypothesis one is the debt to equity ratio has a negative effect on the profitability of renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024. Hypothesis 2, the current ratio has a negative effect on the profitability of renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange from 2020 until 2024. And hypothesis 3, the firm size has a positive effect on the profitability of renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024. And this is a research framework we can see in the right. So this is a method on this research. The study used a quantitative approach with an associated method aiming to examine the effect of debt to ratio, and firm size on the profitability of companies in the renewable energy sector. The study used secondary data obtained from annual report of energy company that have adopted renewable energy and are listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024 period. The data were collected from financial statement as well as other sources relevant to the research needs. Specifically, the data were gathered from financial statement and annual report available on the official website www.idx.go.id and the official website of the respective companies. Population of the study includes all energy companies that have adopted new and renewable energy and are listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024 periods. The sample selection was carried out by using purpose sampling with the following criteria. The first criteria is in the companies that have adopted renewable energy and are listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during 2020 until 2024. The second criteria is companies that have published annual report consecutively from 2020 until 2024 on their official website or other platform such as the Indonesian Stock Exchange. And the last criteria is company engaged in renewable energy that have adopted renewable energy practice and do not contain extreme value in the observed variable during 2020 until 2024. So the sample of this research is 10 sample with 190 any observation. So this is a present variable. We have independent variables is the ratio, and success, and dependent variable return on equity, and with the control variable is company growth. So this is a analysis, technique analysis of this research. The first one is descriptive statistic. Next to classical assumption test with multi-collinear test and heterogeneity test. Next, in regression testing that panel data with chow test, Hausman test, and Lightline multiplier. So the next is regression analysis data, hypothesis testing with partial test, and robustness test, the last one. So this is the statistic of this research. Return on equity has a mean 13.10 and a median of 10.44%, indicating that on average, companies are able to generate a 13% return on their equity. The lowest figure was recorded by PT ABM Vetama in quarter 4 2020 at minus 23.33, driven by the global pandemic and a decline in industrial demand due to lockdown measures, resulting in the company return on equity falling to a negative level for below the industry average is industry average is on 13%. Yeah. So this is the specific for the debt ratio. The average debt ratio of 1.29 indicate that the companies in the sample tend to rely more on debt than equity to finance their operation. The highest debt-to-equity ratio was recorded by PT AB Investor Matematika again in quarter 4 2020, with the number is 411, driven by a decline in equity and an increase in debt due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, current ratio, the average of current ratio is 1.9, 1.91, indicate that the companies generally have sufficient liquidity to meet their current liability. The lowest current ratio was recorded by PT TBS Energi Utama in quarter 2 2021 with 0.40 due to decrease in cash resulting from the repayment of bank loans, coupled with an increase in current liability to fund diversification into renewable energy. The firm size is relatively uniform with a mean of 31.24 and a range of 29.79 until 32.76, reflecting the homogeneous size of firms in the renewable energy sector. The high mean value indicate that renewable energy firms operate on a very large scale and hold substantial assets, which is typical the energy industry, right? So, company growth as a variable control. The average company growth of 13.91 indicate that most companies in the sample experience positive asset growth during the observation period. The lowest company growth was recorded by PT Dian Swastika Sentosa Tbk in quarter 3 2023, minus 60.67, minus 60.36 due to a significant decline in non-current asset resulting from impairment and divestment of business unit, as well as a decrease in current asset from the prepayment and weakening of operating cash flow. So this is the multi-qualitative with a fifth, the average fifth value of 1.176, 1.1793 is less than 10 for all variable indicate that there is no significant multi-cordinality among the independent variables in the model. So next is a heteroscedasticity test. The result of the heteroscedasticity test using the Bush-Pagan test show that the observed R-square value is 1.258489 is much bigger than 0.05. It can be concluded that the regression model used is free from heteroscedasticity. So next is panel data regression. The first one, we use Chow test. The result of Chow test, p-value is 0.0007, less than 0.05, which means hypothesis 0 is rejected and hypothesis A is accepted, indicating that the fixed effect model is more appropriate and should be used for the Hausman test. So the Hausman test result is 0.1847, much is bigger than 0.05. So hypothesis 0 is accepted and hypothesis A is rejected. This means that the most appropriate model to use is the random effect model, and we process to Lagrange multiple test. So the result in the Lagrange multiple test, the cross-sectional probability value of 0.02x0 is less than 0.05. So hypothesis 0 is rejected and hypothesis A is accepted. Therefore, the best model and the one used in this study is the random effect model. So this is a analysis, panel data regression analysis. This is a constant value of minus 69.69 minus 0.69.94 indicate that when the debt-to-equity ratio, current ratio, firm size, and company growth are all zero, the company return on equity is minus 69.94. The debt-to-equity ratio has a coefficient of minus 3.47, which means that 1 unit increase in the debt-to-equity ratio will reduce return on equity by 3.47, assuming all other variables remain constant. Next is current ratio has a regression coefficient of 0.84, indicating that 1 unit increase in current ratio is associated with a 0.84 unit increase in return on equity, assuming all other independent variables remains constant. Firm size has positive coefficient of 2.70, which means that 1 unit increase in firm size will increase return on equity by 2.70, assuming all other variables remains constant. Company growth has a positive coefficient 2 of 0.1, indicating that 1 unit increase in company growth will increase return on equity by 0.1, assuming all other variables remains constant. Next is partial test or t-test. The coefficient for the debt-to-equity ratio, the coefficient value for the debt-to-equity ratio is minus 3.47 with a significant level of 0.0123 is less than 0.1. This confirms that the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. The debt-to-equity ratio has a negative and significant effect on the return on equity of renewable energy companies. Therefore, hypothesis 1 is accepted. So next to current ratio. The coefficient value for the current ratio is 0.84 with a significance level of 0.4771, bigger than 0.1. So hypothesis null is accepted and hypothesis alternative is rejected. Therefore, the second hypothesis is rejected. Next is firm size has a coefficient of 2.7 with a significant value of 0.1366, bigger than 0.1, which means that hypothesis null is accepted and hypothesis A is rejected. Therefore, hypothesis 3 is rejected too. Company growth as a variable control has a coefficient of 0.1 with a significant level of 0.0015, less than 0.1. This indicates that company growth has a positive and significant effect on return on equity. Next to coefficient of determination, the adjusted R-square value of 0.0x6415 indicate the proportion of the total variation in the independent variable return on equity that can be explained by the independent variable in the model, namely the debt-to-equity ratio, current ratio, and firm size and company growth. The value 0.0x6415 means that approximately 8.64% of the variation in return on equity can be explained by the independent variable, while the remaining 91.36% is influenced by other factors outside the model, such as economics, condition, manager decision, industry risk, and other external variables not include the model. This relatively low adjusted R-square value is due to the fact the return on equity is influenced by many external and internal factors that are difficult to fully control in simple model. Nevertheless, the value still allows for an interpretation of the direction and significance of relationship between variable for policy and policy analysis and managerial strategy. So next, the robustness test. The accuracy variable has a negative significant effect on return on asset. These results are consistent with the robustness. Sorry. The debt-to-equity ratio variable has a negative and significant effect on return on equity. These results are consistent with the robustness test, in which the debt-to-equity ratio has a coefficient minus 2.49 with a significant level of 0.000 less than 0.1, indicating that the ratio also has a negative and significant effect on return on asset. The next is current ratio does not have significant effect on return on equity. However, in the robustness test, it has significant positive effect on asset efficiency with a coefficient 1.2 and a significant level of 0.0381 less than 0.1. This indicates that liquidity is more closely related to the efficient use of asset in operational efficiency than to return on equity. So next to the firm size, the firm size variable does not have a significant effect on return on equity, and this result is also consistent in the robustness test. In the robustness test, firm size has a coefficient of 0.91 with a significant value of 0.1340, bigger than 0.1. The company growth as a variable control, the company growth has a positive and significant effect on return on equity. And this result is supported by robustness test. In the robustness test, company growth has a coefficient of 0.05 with a significant level of 0.0031, less than 0.1, indicating that company growth has a positive and significant effect on return on equity. So next is chapter 5 is conclusion. Conclusion of this research is the debt to equity ratio has a negative and significant impact on the profitability of renewable companies. This finding is consistent with the trade-off theory and pecking order theory, which explain that while that does provide a tax shield, excess the increased financial risk and interest expense and reduce net income, thereby lowering the company profitability. The impact of the conclusion of current ratio on ROA does not have significant impact on the profitability of renewable energy companies. This finding is inconsistent with trade-off theory, which states that holding excessive current asset can result in operating costs. However, in this context, short-term liquidity does not strongly influence profitability, as it more determined by long-term structural factors such as infrastructure project, PPA, and national energy regulation. The next is the effect of firm-size on ROA. Firm-size does not have significant on the profitability of renewable energy companies. This finding is not entirely consistent with the trade-off theory and the pecking order theory, which state that larger firms have broader access to financing, economic of scale, and better risk management. However, in practice, operational complexity and higher costs can offset this positive effect, resulting in no significant impact on profitability. Company growth as control variable to account for the impact of company growth in the regression model, thereby allowing the relationship between the main variable and profitability to be estimated more accurately and without bias resulting from variation in growth rates across company. So, the implication of this research, theoretical implication, this study provides empirical support for enrich the trade-off theory and pecking order theory in explaining the relationship between capital structure, liquidity, firm size, and growth on profitability. The findings indicate that the ratio has a significant negative effect as predicted by the theory, whereas the current ratio and firm size are not significant, suggesting that the application of classical financial theory is not always consistent in the renewable energy sector, which is capital intensive, content-driven, and influenced by long-term structural factor. Meanwhile, the significant effect of company growth underscore the importance of growth dynamic in explaining profitability and strengthens the model empirical validity. So next is practical implication. The first one for companies. Renewable energy companies need to optimize their capital structure by managing debt, since the debt ratio has a significant negative impact on return on equity, prioritizing internal financing and directing current assets toward productive investment while continuing to drive growth and operational efficiency to improve return on equity. For investor might consider the debt ratio as a key indicator while selecting renewable energy companies stock, as it has been shown the undermine profitability. For the government and regulator, the finding that capital structure undermines the profitability of renewable energy companies could serve as a basis for the government to design policy such as fiscal incentive, green bonds, or interest credit guarantees in order to reduce financing costs, improve profitability, and accelerate investment in the national clean energy transition. So the last slide is limitation and recommendation. Limitation on this research is no anonymity test was conducted. So there is a potential for multicollinearity among the variable. Failing to include the macro variables such as inflation, interest rate, and economic growth as control variable. The sample is limited to the renewable energy companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange, of which there are relatively few. The study period was only 5 years, so it does not provide a comprehensive picture of long-term trend. So, there's a recommendation for this research. For next research is further research is recommended to conduct an energy test with Hausmann or 2SLS to avoid similarity bias. Future research is recommended to include macroeconomic variables such as inflation, interest rate, and economic growth as control variable. For next, future research is recommended to expand the sample to other energy sector or across Asian countries. Further research should extend the observation period so that the result better reflect the long-term condition. So this is all for me. I want to say thank you.